Hello everyone, this is Anish Verma and you're listening to the Empower Your Mind for Success podcast, a podcast for anyone who wants to build an entrepreneurial mindset. So today I was on Facebook a little bit and I saw a question that one of the guys asked on one of the entrepreneurial forums. And the question was, can you eradicate negative thoughts? And I kind of smiled and wanted to answer the question. There were 113 comments already, so I didn't bother. But I wanted to cover that a little bit here. We have already covered a lot on thoughts before on the prior podcast, but given that it is the beginning of everything, I thought I'll cover a little bit more on that topic today and try to connect some dots for you guys. But before we do that, we all know, and it has been stated in the books that I continue talking about, and also the ancient texts, both coming from very old mythologies, the Indian mythology, the Chinese and the Greek mythology, of how important thoughts are. Thought is the starting point, guys. Whatever you think can only be manifested into its physical state, provided you follow a certain way and follow the laws of the universe to make it happen. But that also means that if you cannot think of something, you cannot achieve it. So how do you think much more bigger than maybe we all do today, right? And I think that is why the book Magic of Thinking Big by David Schwartz, written in 1987, is such an important book to read, and on my list of top 10 books every entrepreneur should read. Because if you can think big, you can achieve big things. If everything starts with a thought, then you need to figure out how do you bring in those big thoughts. That is why reading books is a very good habit to have, because the more you read, the more you know what's going on in the world, or what has happened in the world. You can read biographies of popular people or people that you believe have led successful lives and you would like to model them. You can also do dream building exercises, right? So in about 2011 2012 time frame, about 8-9 years ago, we were planning to move into a newer area so that we could take advantage of the school district, the good school district of that area. And me and my wife, we wanted to do some dream building around the houses. So we went and saw much bigger houses than what we can afford. But by doing that, it allowed us to even see and visualize really how some of the big houses and mansions are made and built, right? These are $1 million, $2 million homes. It gives you a very good perspective of how big the bedrooms are. Do these $1 million mansions have 8 bedrooms, or they still have 4 or 5 bedrooms, but the bedrooms are much larger? How big the bathrooms are? How many car garages do they have? What is the size of the land that the house is built on? Do they have swimming pools? Do they have tennis courts? Do they have squash courts? All those things, right? They kind of help you visualize and see. And when you can see it, you can think it as well. So reading books, dream building exercises is a very good way. You can watch some videos on YouTube or your favorite social media channel where people share about the rich and famous, so that you can start germinating thoughts in your mind much beyond what our environment allows us to do today, right? That is why it is very important to insert ourselves in an environment that prompts these thoughts. That is why they say that if you want to move upward, you need to start befriending people in that kind of a circle of influence, so that you can be part of that and you can start moving upwards. Because when you do that, you'll think big. When you think big, you'll achieve big, right? So that is very, very important. So thinking big is very important. Now, coming back to the original question that I started with this podcast, how do you eradicate negative thoughts? Now, that basically comes down to the understanding of how our mind works, right? We all know we all have seen a brain or a picture of a brain in a biology book or a scientific journal, but we have never seen a mind, right? We don't know how you can draw a mind until in the 1930s, where Dr. Herman Fleet first came up with a picture of a mind, and he drew a mind as a circle with a horizontal line drawn right in the middle along the diameter or along the equator of that circle. And he called the upper half the conscious mind and the lower half the subconscious mind. Now, thoughts are generated in the conscious mind, because the conscious mind is the analytical, the logical mind, and that's where thoughts germinate. That's where thoughts start. The subconscious mind is a more of emotional mind, feeling mind. It doesn't understand language, doesn't understand logic, doesn't understand analytics, but that is where the subconscious mind has unlimited capacity. It can multitask, can accomplish a lot for you. Until a thought goes into your subconscious mind through repetition, your subconscious mind cannot put that thought into the universe to apply the laws of the universe to then convert it into its physical manifestation. That's how a mind works. So the other thing about the subconscious mind is that once a thought enters from the conscious mind to subconscious mind, you cannot delete it, right? There is no backspace button, there is no delete button in the subconscious mind. So whatever you hear, whatever you see, whatever enters your conscious mind and then into your subconscious mind cannot be deleted, cannot be erased, which means it applies both to the positive thoughts and to the negative thoughts, right? Which means everything is getting accumulated, and over the few years of your existence, your subconscious mind is being filled with all the thoughts, all the routines, all the processes that you follow, right? Anything from waking up in the morning, brushing your teeth, to doing very complicated tasks in the office, to coming back, having dinner, taking a walk, going to sleep, or your before sleep routine. Everything that you do is in the subconscious mind. The more you do something, the stronger the pathways in the subconscious mind become. It basically the neuropaths between cells in your brain, the wiring between your cells in the brain gets stronger and stronger with more and more repetition, right? That is why they say, once you're above the age of 7, the only way to retrain your subconscious mind is through repetition. Okay, that is why if you think about all successful athletes, Michael Jordan, Roger Federer, John McEnroe, Jack Nicklaus, Tiger Woods, Babe Ruth, all these guys, successful athletes, got successful because of the practice and because of the repetition that they made their mind and body go through to understand, so that they could perform in an autopilot mode on the field, and that is how they became successful. I mean, if you remember, you could even see Kobe Bryant and Shaq O'Neal and Michael Jordan, all these guys, the commentators and the analysts said they look in the zone today, right? They can't miss anything, right? That is because your muscles, your body, and your mind are so tuned to do what you're looking for, 3-point shooting or being a point guard and whatever you are trying to achieve through practice, that it becomes a pretty automated thing, right? That is why sometimes you reach your office even without realizing how quickly you got there, because maybe you're thinking of something else or talking to somebody on the phone, but you still got to your office even without realizing that you had to take left turn, then right, go to the freeway, exit, all that good stuff, right? So if that is how the mind works and no thoughts can be deleted from the subconscious mind, then how do you eradicate negative thoughts? So the answer is no, you cannot eradicate negative thoughts. The only thing you can do is dilute the impact of the negative thoughts. You can weaken the electrical pathways between the cells of your brain that might be about the negative thoughts, in your mind, right? You can only dilute it. And how do you dilute it? You can dilute it by exposing your mind to more and more positive thoughts, and repeating the positive things, taking actions towards your goals and dreams which are more positive. Start talking to people in an environment that is conducive towards your growth. Starting to mingle with people and your mentors who can help you achieve your dreams and goals, right? When you start doing that and creating an environment, where you are in your office or in your workspace, where you have all these beautiful quotes, positive quotes that will help you remind of your goal, pictures and visualizations of your goals, which will remind you of your goal. When you do all these things, it will start introducing more and more reasons for you to think of positive thoughts. The more positive thoughts you think, the more dilutive the negative thoughts will become. If you want to visualize this, right, I'd seen this in one of Darren Hardy's video where he was trying to explain this concept as well, where he took a jar and filled it up with mud, and then, which were, let's say, the dirty mud is your negative thoughts, and he started pouring water in it, right? When you pour water and the jar is full, the color of the water is very dark brown, because there's too many negative thoughts, too much mud out there, right? But if you keep on pouring water, fresh water, pure water, which represents positive thoughts, the mud will start flowing out of the jar, and the jar is your mind, right? It will start flowing out of the jar. Then the color of the water starts to get from dark brown to light brown to pale brown, and starts getting clearer and clearer. And that is a very good representation of how you can pour the water of positive thoughts into your jar, into your brain, into your mind, so that the effect of the negative thoughts keeps on going down. And that is how you will be entering more positive thoughts in your mind. So that is how it happens, guys. And that is why I always say that if you can get your thoughts right, if you can think big enough, then you will be able to achieve a lot. Now, just by thought, nothing will happen, but thought is the starting point. By thought, if your thought becomes a burning desire, and if you can take action on it with help of people, then you can convert your thought into your desire, into its physical manifestation. I hope this helps. Remember, you have unlimited potential. Own it. Thank you for listening. Until next time, take care.